So I just played Roundabout, and that could have been better. That really is my big takeaway, that, it's not bad. It's charmingly silly with its FMV cutscenes, and it definitely feels like a loving tribute to the old Grand Theft Auto games and Crazy Taxi. The only problem is that it also feels like it was way too inspired by games like Quap and Getting Up. It just relies way too much on a masochistic difficulty that, yes, in theory you can get used to and work around, but then it makes things harder and it's just not as fun as it could be. Rather than allowing you to just create as much chaos as possible, it goes in the opposite direction of, say, Just Cause, and instead kind of just beats your face in with things when it doesn't really need to. Case in point, it takes about 5 to 6 collisions with your rotating limousine before you just suddenly explode. Now, to be fair, you don't fail the mission, you can just keep going, but it deducts some of your score and it's considered the mission is only so many percentage complete if you die, and it's just really annoying when it would have been more fun if bouncing off of things actually made for more interesting situations. I'd much rather have to react to a scenario where things aren't going well than to just die, which is something that Roundabout doesn't seem to understand. It's such a shame too, because there's a lot of fun here. Even when the game suddenly is like, okay, and now we're a platformer. Okay. You still find ways to enjoy it, and there's goofy missions that make almost no sense that are genuinely funny, but it's not all coming together. One of the most notable things is that in order to actually keep the score you get so that you can earn in-game currency, I mean, you can buy properties to earn some a la Assassin's Creed, but that's not really the intention of the game. That's more just to ensure that everybody can unlock things eventually. Now, the majority of your time is just, you gather up some combo points. Have you got a good percentage? Okay, now you're going to sit in place for a while and wait for the meter to run out, because if you collide with anything, you'll lose all of it, which genuinely discourages experimentation. That's probably the biggest problem with this game, is that it doesn't seem to be keen on you trying things, which is what it should be going for. You're driving a spinning limousine in a crazy 80s style madhouse where a CEO orders you to run over his neighbors and their mailboxes for daring to be on his lawn, and you fight a French-Canadian duplicate of yourself who's very like Luigi, but he never appears on screen. Your character's name is Giorgio, but is clearly a lady who just isn't allowed to say anything and who has some serious fun just hamming it up a la Charlie Chaplin style. It's a marvelous little game in so many ways, but it makes itself so cumbersome that it's hard to really recommend it. It's on Xbox Game Pass, that's how I finally tried it, and you might have some fun with it for like an hour, but that really is it. The majority of what it has to offer runs out by then. There's power-ups and everything, there's customization options to unlock, but unless you really don't mind the bits that grind on your gears, there's nothing that's going to keep you here long term, which is just disappointing. I've been looking forward to trying this one for a while, and I think it could be easily fixed, if I'm being entirely honest here. First of all, you should be able to choose which direction you're rotating. You should be able to swap one way or the other. I think that would make things a lot better, instead of having magical tires that do it for you. It would allow for the player to save themselves so many times, and it would just allow for a lot more player agency. What's more, you shouldn't kill the player. I mean, I like that there's modifiers, like a sudden death mode and everything, but also there should be like an invincible mode. There should be accessibility modes that make things easier, and maybe there's something like that in there that I just missed, but overall I mostly just saw ways to make things more challenging, and that's not what this game needs. And yes, there's the slowdown power, but honestly, it's not that well introduced, and when you first are using it, it actually can lead to deaths faster than just playing the game normally. So there's that, and the focus on replaying missions, as cute as the cutscenes are, not a lot of them could carry themselves for 2 times in a row. This isn't a game that you're going to want to actively replay a bunch of, yet it seems to be counting on you doing that. For all that it is, Roundabout isn't bad, but I'm very glad that I experienced it through Games Pass rather than buying it for myself. Which is a shame. It's got flair, it's got personality. I want to see more from these developers, because clearly they have a great sense of humor, but they need to work on their quality assurance and their balancing. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of them, please be sure to like and subscribe because that actually helps a lot. And if you didn't like it, then please feel free to give a thumbs down, but also let's try and keep things simple in the comments section, yeah? Oh, and if you really like this video and would like to help ensure I can do more of these things, then please head down to the description and follow a link to my Patreon, where you get special goodies if you chip in and help make this channel a reality. I'm the Unabridged Gamer, signing off.